You are not just a walking body that eats and sleeps. Inside you is a vibrant universe, made of body, emotions, mind, and spirit, interacting every second, every minute. And if they are not in harmony, you will feel lost, no matter how full your outer life may seem. This is not a lesson on positive thinking. This is a journey back to the self, where you no longer chase acceptance, but live as your true self, whole, complete, and unshakable. Listen. Perhaps for the first time in a long while, you will truly hear the call from within. 1. You don't have just one body, but 4. Most of us live as if we were only one entity, a visible physical body that needs food to survive, sleep to recover, and work to have value. We've been stuffed into a concept so brutally simple: you are your body. But that's only half the truth. And like all half-truths, it's more dangerous than a lie. A human being, in their wholeness, is not just a body. We are a complex system made of 4 layers: the physical body, the vehicle that carries us through this world; the emotional body, invisible waves that influence every action and decision; the mental body, the realm of thoughts, memories, beliefs, and imagination; the spiritual body, the deepest source, where we connect to the sacred, to our mission, and to what lies beyond the reach of reason. Each body is a dimension, and all of them interact within one unique universe, you. The body is the vehicle, not the destination. You can eat healthily, exercise daily, and still feel empty. You can have the perfect figure, yet your inner world may be in chaos. Why? Because the body is just a vehicle. Without a map, the mind; without fuel, emotions; and without a guiding flame, spirit, it's merely moving aimlessly. Have you ever stopped to ask, am I healthy, or just functioning like a machine? Emotions are fuel, and also signals. Emotions are not weaknesses that need control. They are flows of energy, living data showing what's truly going on inside you. A person who feels tired despite getting enough sleep may be carrying an unspoken sadness. A person who's constantly angry for no reason may be holding onto an unacknowledged wound. If you ignore emotions, you are rejecting an essential part of your inner truth. Emotions, like fuel, can move you forward, or burn you from within. The mind is the map, but not the whole journey. The mind can make plans. It analyzes, reasons, builds assumptions. But if the mind is disconnected from emotions and spirit, it will lead you somewhere you don't belong. You can read 100 books, take notes on every self-development strategy, and still be stuck. Not because you lack knowledge, but because your mind is walking alone, not asking what your heart desires, or what your soul needs. Thinking isn't wrong, but without connection to your deeper self, it becomes an internal tyrant, leading to anxiety, exhaustion, and the feeling of living without truly being alive. The spirit is the flame, unseen, but essential. The deepest part of you has no shape. It cannot be measured by muscles, labeled by logic, or manipulated by emotion. It is the part of you that seeks meaning, that feels guided, called, connected to something greater than yourself. When the soul falls silent, you may succeed, and still feel lost. You may achieve everything, and still feel you've lost something you cannot name. That's when you realize, I crossed a desert, built everything, but left behind the flame within. Disharmony, that's the true pain. You are not broken because you are weak. You are simply trying to live with only one part, while the other 3 are starving. Your body is exhausted, because the mind keeps pushing. Your mind is overwhelmed, because your emotions are unhealed. Your emotions are chaotic, because your soul has no light to follow. Right pointing finger, don't ask, what more should I do? Right pointing finger, ask, what part of me have I forgotten? Conclusion, the journey back to your 4 bodies. The secret is not in fixing yourself. It lies in listening to your whole self. From body, to emotion, to mind, to spirit. When all 4 bodies speak in unison, you will hear something the world outside never told you: you were never lacking anything. You only needed to return, whole, as you've always been. 2. All suffering originates from stuck energy. There are days when you do nothing and still feel exhausted. No stressful meetings. No one hurt you. Nothing serious happened. But the feeling remains, heavy, as if something invisible is weighing on your soul. That is not physical fatigue. That is stuck energy. Energy, the invisible force behind the visible life. Everything in the universe is moving energy. So are you. So am I. But when that flow of energy is blocked, due to suppressed emotions, unhealed wounds, or old stories repeating unconsciously, it accumulates in the body, in the nervous system, in the eyes, in those quiet moments that have no name. You are not living in the present. You are living in an energetic web that hasn't been released. We don't feel exhausted because of what is happening. We feel exhausted because of what has happened, but was never acknowledged. The blockages within you are not random. You were once betrayed. You were once forced into silence. You once tried to explain, but no one listened. You may no longer recall the details, but your body still remembers. Your shoulders are always tense. Your chest always feels tight. Your breath is always shallow. Those are the places where energy is stuck. And when energy is no longer free, you lose the most important thing of all, vitality. Vitality is not about being busy or productive. It is the feeling, I am truly alive, breathing, fully present with myself. Nature teaches us about cycles, but we run from our inner winter. Look at nature. Every year, spring, buds appear. Summer, blooms in full. Autumn, lets go. Winter, quiet and withdrawn. And then, the cycle begins again. So why do you demand yourself to always be in summer, always busy, always bright, always okay? You have your winter, too. A season for healing. A season for stillness. A season where energy withdraws in order to be reborn. You are not weak. You are simply in the rightful resting phase of your soul, but you haven't allowed yourself to live it fully. Wherever you are stuck is where you need to return. Here's a painful truth. Many people spend their whole lives running away from themselves. Running through busyness. Running through forced laughter. Running through relationships that numb them instead of reviving them. But you cannot heal by running away. You can only heal by returning. Returning to the anger that was never spoken. Returning to the sadness that was once dismissed. Returning to the tears that were swallowed into your heart. They don't want to break you. They only want to be heard, once, in silence, without judgment. Stillness, not to escape, but to face. Many people misunderstand meditation. They think it's a way to escape negative emotions. But true meditation is sitting still and observing, without fixing, without judging, without running. Meditation is letting fear rise, without being consumed by it. It's letting sadness quietly pass through, without calling it weakness. The more you allow yourself to be present with stuck energy, the more it gets released. How to let energy flow again? No complex techniques needed. Start with simple things. Breathe deeply, really deeply. Touch your own body with love. Write down the things you've never said out loud. Go outside under the sunlight, as a living being, not a machine. And most importantly, forgive yourself for carrying the weight for so long. Conclusion: every flow needs permission to move. Suffering is not something to be erased. It's a signal, saying, there's something inside you waiting to be released. Your energy wants to move, to flow, to expand. But it can only do that when you allow yourself to feel. And maybe that's the bravest act of all, not to conquer your pain, but to touch it and still remain standing. 3. When the mind, emotions, and body don't speak the same language. You say, I want to move forward. But every time you get close to your goal, you find yourself hesitating, stepping back. You set clear goals, but your body feels sluggish. Your mind longs for it, but your emotions withdraw. The truth is, you are living with 3 different selves in the same body. One thinks, one feels, one acts, and they don't speak the same language. The mind is the commander, but not the king. In a modern world, the mind is worshipped like a god. Reason, logic, strategy have become the standards of success. You are taught how to write goals, make 5-year plans, analyze SWOT, use productivity tools. But what they don't tell you is, the mind may know the way, but it cannot walk it alone. A map may point to the mountain top. But if your heart is shattered, if your body is collapsing from exhaustion, every plan becomes a forgotten theory. Emotions, the prisoner locked in a hidden room. Emotions have no logic. They are water. They are waves. They are the echoes of things that happened, but were never healed. You can write "I will succeed" 100 times in your journal. But if deep down you still feel unworthy, that energy will sabotage your entire journey. Emotions don't respond to slogans. They only respond to truth. If the mind is the commander, then emotions are the army. And a wounded army cannot fight, no matter how noble the orders. The body, the silent sentencing ground of inner wars. The body cannot speak, but it expresses. It carries messages you don't dare to face. Does your stomach hurt every time you meet a certain person? Do your shoulders tense up when you have to act okay? Is your breath shallow, like you're always ready to run? It's not random. That is the language of disagreement. The body is the most faithful witness of unresolved inner conflict. Self-sabotage doesn't come from the outside, but from inner division. Many people think they're unlucky, unmotivated, or not cut out for it. But most failure doesn't come from the outside. It comes from the fact that the 3 selves inside are not looking in the same direction. The mind says move forward. The emotions say stay here, we're not ready. The body reacts like a misprogrammed machine: procrastination, insomnia, tension, depression. That's subtle self-sabotage. And it happens every day, in silence. So how do we unify these 3 voices? Not by forcing. Not through cold discipline. Not through hollow affirmations. It must begin with an honest meeting. A dialogue, not with others, but with the 3 layers inside you. Ask, what does my mind want, and why? Do my emotions agree with that, or are they warning me of something? Does my body have the strength to follow that path, or is it asking for something else? When these 3 voices are truly heard, you'll no longer have to force yourself to act. You will want to act, as a harmonious instinct. Core beliefs, the key to alignment. Sometimes, you don't need to learn more. You just need to release a false belief you've carried since childhood. For example, I have to be perfect to be loved. I'm not good enough to succeed. If I fail, I'll be abandoned. These don't sit on the surface of the mind. They lie deep, in emotion and memory. And they make your body tremble every time you get close to change. You cannot go far if you believe you don't deserve to. Conclusion: when the 3 selves speak as one, you become unstoppable. The person is not unstoppable because they're tougher, but because they no longer have inner conflict. They think something, feel it, and their body moves in the same direction. No pressure, no resistance, only pure, seamless energy flow. That's not a technique. It's a return to your whole, unified self. And from that place, you won't just do what you want. You will become what you were born to be. 4. Movement affects your energy. Humans were not born to sit still in front of a screen for 8 hours a day. Nor were we created to lie around and hope that good energy will show up. The body, from the moment it was designed, has always been an intelligent system of movement. Inner stillness does not mean outer immobility. And if you want energy to flow, you must relearn the language of movement. Movement, the body's form of prayer in ancient cultures, people danced to release energy. They didn't need gyms or step counters. They only needed a drum beat and an honest body. Today, we no longer dance. We exercise. We no longer run to be free. We burn calories. All movement has been reduced to physical goals, and that kills the soul in every step. You don't need to exercise to have a nice body. You need to move so that your inner energy doesn't slowly die. The body holds memory, and only movement can release it. Did you know that every emotional shock, if unprocessed, leaves a mark on your body like an invisible tattoo? Your knees hurt because you were always forced to submit. Your stomach tightens because you swallowed your anger for too long. Your shoulders feel heavy because you always had to stay strong instead of leaning on someone. And if you only meditate, read, or pray, those memories will still lie dormant in your flesh. Movement is the art of letting the body speak the things the mind has buried. Running, dancing, shaking your shoulders, bending, yawning deeply, breathing forcefully. These are not meaningless actions. They are how you decode the frozen history of your energy. Food doesn't just feed the body, it programs your energy. Don't just eat to be full, you eat to create energy. And every type of food you put into your body carries its own frequency. A ripe apple, grown from soil and ripened under sunlight, is completely different from a slice of packaged sausage, filled with additives and sustained by chemicals. Food isn't just nutrition. It is a signal, a message sent to your cells. What you eat, you become that energy. If you eat living foods, you become vibrant. If you consume what is dead, you'll feel sluggish, stagnant, tired without knowing why. Right pointing finger, ask yourself every time you eat, does this bring me closer to life, or further away from it? Breathing, the forgotten tool of transformation. You do it every day, but never pay attention. You breathe, but you don't truly breathe. Breathing is the bridge between the mind and the body. It is the means to release old energy and invite in a new flow. Deep breathing is not a technique. It is an inner ritual. A message to the universe: I am here. I am alive. I am allowing myself to soften. When you breathe deeply, you open space for something new. When you breathe consciously, you decode what's stuck in the unconscious. Reality is a mirror, and you are the one who chooses what it reflects. We often look at life and complain, why is everything so hard? Why do I keep running into bad luck? Why can't I move forward? But no one tells you this: the outer world is merely a copy of your inner energy. If you carry stagnant energy, you will attract stuck situations. If you emit vibrant energy, opportunities, connections, and light will find you. The universe doesn't distinguish between right and wrong. It simply reflects what you are. Right pointing finger, so the question is not, how do I change the world? But, what do I need to change inside, so the world responds differently? Conclusion: movement is how you declare that you are still alive. Don't wait for motivation before you move. Move, and the energy will come. Move, and life will begin to respond. You don't need to run a marathon. You just need to be honest with your smallest movement. A shoulder roll. A lifted head. A long breath out, instead of holding it in. Every movement you make, if done with awareness, is a powerful affirmation to the universe that, I choose to live fully. Right now. 5. You can live in illusion, or choose truth and become a creator. There are two ways to exist in this world. One is to live by the old programming, believe what others tell you, follow the path laid out, and accept life as a series of random events you cannot control. The other is to awaken, realize that you are a powerful being, capable of shaping reality, from the inside out. The difference doesn't lie in environment, circumstances, or background. It lies in one thing only: do you still believe in the illusion, or have you begun to face the truth? The greatest illusion: you are a victim. The system, whether it's education, media, or society, doesn't teach you how to connect with energy, emotions, or the soul. Instead, It teaches you, you must work hard to be worthy. You must do things right to be loved. You must keep up with others to have value. Since childhood, you were programmed with fear, comparison, and a sense of lack. You were taught how to react to life, not how to create it from within. This is not your fault. But if you don't recognize it, you'll live your whole life as a pawn in someone else's game. Awakening begins when you start asking new questions you no longer ask. What must I do to be accepted? Instead, you ask, who am I, before I was taught to please anyone? You no longer ask, what career suits me? You ask, what was I born to create, that only I can bring into the world? You no longer ask, what is the safest choice? You ask, what makes my soul light up, even if no one else understands it? Awakening isn't about gaining more knowledge, it's about removing the old programming. You don't need another course to be worthy. You don't need more degrees, more certificates, or more external approval. Awakening is the process of shedding layer by layer the limiting beliefs you were programmed with. I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. Only others can succeed, not me. These aren't truths. They are mental viruses, passed down through systems, through unhealed parents, through a fearful society. The first step in reclaiming your creative power is to silence that voice. You are the one rewriting the program. Once you face the truth, I am not a victim, I am a creator, everything begins to change. You no longer wait for something to come and save you. You become the one who works miracles. You choose your food not because someone told you to eat healthy, but because you understand, the energy you take in shapes your reality. You choose your relationships not because someone seems compatible, but because you feel, your energy is lifted, not drained. You choose how to work, how to live, how to be silent, how to breathe, not to please anyone, but because it is the most honest expression of your being. Control systems only exist as long as you believe in them. You can break free from all limits, as soon as you stop agreeing with them. Every rule can be rewritten. Every limitation begins in the mind. When you stop believing you need permission to shine, you begin to shine. When you stop thinking you must be fine to live your truth, you begin to heal. When you stop blaming the world, you begin to create your own world. And the most amazing thing is, no one can stop you, once you truly step into the role of creator. Conclusion: creators don't wait for circumstances, they create them. The world doesn't need more people who are good at enduring. The world needs those who remember who they are, and live from that place. Not a copy. Not a product of a curriculum. Not a victim of circumstance. But a source of energy that knows it can shape reality, with every choice, every action, every vibration. You can keep living in illusion, and repeating the old story. Or you can wake up today, and write the first chapter of a life you never thought was possible. 6. When you activate the truth within you, you no longer have to wait for a miracle. We grow up with a silent belief that something outside of us must happen for our life to change. A mentor will arrive. A door of opportunity will open. Someone will love us enough to make us believe in ourselves. Some miracle will come. But you know what? No one is coming. Nothing from the outside can save you permanently. And when you accept that, not with bitterness, but with freedom, for the first time, you will feel something very few have ever felt: inner power. You are the miracle you've been waiting for. No one can change your vibration, except you. No one can tune your frequency, but you. No one can go deep inside you, peel back layers of illusion, heal every wound, reconnect every part of you. Only you can do that. And that is the miracle. Miracles don't come from the outside. They rise from within, when you agree to own your truth. What is that truth? That you don't need to become someone else to be loved. That you don't need to keep up with others to be recognized. That you don't need to be fixed. You only need to be reconnected to your original self. From that place, you no longer live to survive. You live to express, to emit a kind of light no one has ever seen, yet belongs entirely to you. Reality is not something you bump into, it's something you create. Everything you see outside, the people you meet, the situations you go through, the opportunities, the obstacles, the luck, the injustice, all of it reflects something inside you. The energy you emit determines the experience you receive. If you carry the energy of a victim, life will keep giving you reasons to feel betrayed, abandoned, limited. If you carry the energy of a creator, you will no longer cling to outcomes. You become the center of your own universe. Activating the truth is accepting responsibility. Truth does not only bring freedom, it brings responsibility. When you realize you are the one creating your reality, you can no longer blame. You can't blame your parents. You can't blame society. You can't complain about your conditions. You'll no longer say, "I can't because," but instead ask, "What within me is creating this limitation, and how will I transform it?" 4 bodies, 1 soul, 1 new reality. When you return to care for and integrate your 4 bodies, the physical, nourished with living food, real movement, deep breath. The emotional, accepted, listened to, and released without judgment. The mental, cleared of limiting beliefs, reprogrammed with new awareness. The spiritual, connected to the divine, to your mission, to light beyond the ego. You will feel a new current of energy rising, not from out there, but from deep within. From this point, you no longer chase anything. You begin to radiate. You no longer seek peace, you become it. You no longer seek love, you are its source. You no longer seek purpose, you live as a living expression of your mission. Everything you once chased will start finding its way to you. Not because you're trying to attract it, but because you've become the version it's been searching for. Conclusion: live as a creator, 1 breath at a time. From this moment on, live as if every step you take is reprogramming space. Every word you speak is altering the frequency of reality. Every decision you make is a blade clearing the path for your soul to step into the light. No more waiting on anyone. No more chasing anyone. No more living in the illusion of who you are. There is only you, and the truth. And from that truth, you don't just live. You create.